What's your non-screen time? Oh my God. Oh my God. What was that? What was that voice?
I think you were coming on to me.
That felt like a spirit coming out of me.
It's not, hey, save it for the Halloween episode.
Holy God. Yeah, save it for the Halloween episode, but I hated that.
I hated that as well.
I want to listen back to that right now.
It was weirdly attractive.
I hated every second of it.
Okay, do we need to do a seance now?
Do you ever like, okay, this is going to sound crazy, but like, you know, when like your voice comes out slightly different, you're like, who was that?
Yeah.
And do you ever catch yourself in a mirror where you're like, who's that?
Oh,
and
all the time.
Yeah, and it's
all the
and
time.
like in a way where you're like, not even like a different angle, like you're just like washing your hands and you're looking into your own eyes, but you don't often look into your own eyes, and you're just sort of like, wait a second, is that what I look like?
The worst example,
No.
I feel that the worst example of that is like when you're drunk on a night out and you're feeling like quite confident and like talking and all that stuff, and then you look. I had this on Saturday at the wedding. I then looked in the mirror and I looked like the Joker. I was like, who's that? It was like the stage of red lipstick where it's like just suddenly all over you. My eyes were too wide. My hair was like insane. I was like, who is that mess?
I think that's one of the greatest privileges of life.
We're looking like
in
the
mirror
Joker
when you're drunk.
Oh yeah.
It's or like trying to figure it out. And I remember seeing, you know, Rose's sitcom Starstruck.
Yeah.
They do that in their sitcom.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of scenes where she looks at herself drunk, and I remember thinking like, I love this so much, because that for me is something that like I've always thought of would be such a good moment in a script, because it feels very film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
to, like,
yeah.
Be like drunk, or like even if you're on drugs, like taking yourself in a mirror, like in that situation. And I feel like she just got it in perfectly. I was like, well done, madam. Oh, welcome to Helen's Log, and we're going to play the theme tune right now.
Welcome to Helen's Log. Log as in a diary, not Helen's log as in a tree that has been cut. Oh no. Or a toilet or a flume. Double no. Log as in a synonym for diary. It's Helen's log. Just as she knows it's Helen's log. The diary. It's a weekly diary podcast, and it is called Helen's Log.
Oh my, by the way, thank you to everyone who came to see my shows in Northern Ireland and Ireland. I had a lovely time. I had a really nice time. I have to just say this. So, I went too hard. I had too much fun. I had
That's
so much
great,
writing
though.
to do. And I was like, every day I was like, I'm going to do. So I'm writing an episode of something. And I was like, I've got 3 pages of the scenes all planned out. So each day I'll do a different page of the scenes. Just a skeleton script. Just getting like, not necessarily hilarious, but whatever.
Yeah.
And did 1 page over the full week. And I was like, that'll do it. I reckon that'll do it.
Hey, it's a lot. I bet it's a good page.
It's actually a really good page. And then I did another half of a page actually late last night.
Well done.
But I could not stop thinking of things I wanted to do. I was out of control.
Like, so you went to the Titanic Museum 4 times.
I went to the Belfast Titanic Museum 8 times.
Yeah.
Because I landed in Belfast and my flight landed, I think I got to the hotel at like 3 for check-in time.
Yeah.
I've got to be at the show at like 6:30 for tech, right? And the doors open at 7 and shows at 8. So I've got like only a few hours, and I'm like, I've got to prioritize the Titanic Museum, mainly because when I checked in at the hotel, I was with my friend Neil, who was doing tour support for me last week. And I checked in and they were like, oh, what are you doing in Belfast? I didn't want to say like I'm doing shows because it might be like a long conversation or whatever. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I'm seeing the Titanic Museum. And the woman went, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, have you been? And she was like, oh, yeah. And I went, oh, is it any good? She went, it's really good, but it didn't sink when they said it did. I was like, what do you mean? And she went, oh, it was a cover-up. I think the Olympics sunk then, and a couple of years later the Titanic went, but it was all a cover-up for the White Star Line. And I was just like, you mental bitch. You mental bitch. I'm 100% going now, obviously. So I was like, Neil, we've got 6 minutes. You can shower, drop your bag. I'm just going to drop my bag because I already showered this morning, so I'm dignified. And we are going to the Titanic Museum. Got straight on the bus, got out there. Holy crap, it's a good museum.
I loved it.
You went on, tell everyone how you went, because this is so funny.
So I ended up going to the Titanic Museum when I was on a hen do in Belfast. It wasn't planned. But we didn't really. We got the cheapest flight, so we arrived in Belfast at 9 a.m. and then, unbeknownst to us, we couldn't get into our Airbnb until 5 p.m.
This early flight thing, we've got to stop doing it.
I know.
I understand if you're listening in your late teens and early 20s, it feels like such a win to save £30 on your flight by getting a really early flight. But you will spend that money on having to travel to the airport in those early hours because there isn't stuff running.
Yeah.
And you will spend it on coffee.
Yeah.
And you're actually not gaining a day. You are losing 2 days because you will be. Actually, no. In your teen years, you won't. I think I could power through.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, now you're a rotting corpse walking around if you do
Both my
that.
flights last week, midday.
Gorgeous. Actually, both my flights there and back
Santorini?
from Santorini. It was like 11:30.
We won't suffer.
We won't.
We
won't do it.
will not suffer.
We will not. And
anymore.
I've done the same again for. I'm going. Have I told you this? I'm going in like a couple of weeks to Spain for 1.5 days to go and see a Spanish Nirvana tribute band called the Buzz Lovers.
I love you so completely. Wait, we'll get back to Belfast in a minute. What's the plan here? What's the plan?
Fly there, have a nice day evening in Murcia.
What ADHD mental freak planned this?
Will, obviously.
There we go. It had to be someone. It had to be someone with ADHD. That's crazy.
It's going to be great. It's going to be so good.
Enchanted by this.
I love it.
And what's the band called?
The Buzz Lovers. Apparently, I saw them in Vienna and they were absolutely incredible. And so it's worth the trip.
It's worth the trip for a day and a half.
I know. Anyway, I want to hear more about your Titanic Museum.
No, I want to hear about how you went to the Titanic Museum, actually.
Oh, yeah. And anyway, so we we got there and it to be fair, learnt loads, but it was like we were quite tired, had all of our bags and we're like going around. But my highlight was, there's a ride you can go on? Did you go on it?
Yeah, of course. I did not realise that was a ride. I did not realise that was a ride.
You can't really, it's like it's very slow.
You go through the steel works and you're in like a little hanging crate thing. It's really weird.
But my highlight, we can talk more about it, but my highlight was at the end when we were walking out and bless my friend Steph went, so weird, they didn't mention Rose and Jack at all. Oh.
I think they've changed it now because they do. They do right at the end. You can
do
do a photo op.
That's because of her.
Okay,
that's
thank
because
God.
of her coming
Thank
out
God,
and
because I
being
did the photo op. Of course I did.
Did you have the photo?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
show that to everyone later.
It's me and Neil doing Rose and Jack. It's incredible. We went straight to the museum and like everyone was like, oh, it takes about like 2.5 hours. My friend Gwyneth was like, oh, you want to do either the Black Cab tour or Titanic Museum? And I was like, okay, I have to because it sounds like there's a conspiracy theory and I'm fascinated. And we went to do it. And there's a children's trail. Did you do this?
No, I did not.
It's mainly for under 10s, but I asked and they were like, that's fine if you really want to. So I got... I should have brought my certificate. I got a certificate at the end. But it's a children's trail and there's like questions, which is very fun and very nice. And you have to find the answers. And you also have to find the little characters that are hidden around it, like Barnacle Bob and like a seagull and a woman called Mary. But I didn't fucking realise. I struggled so hard with the children's trail. I thought we were looking for like the people's names in these like photographs that are up on the wall about people who like worked on the Titanic.
Yes, yeah.
But they're actually like little cartoon doll figures that are hidden around. And then I only realised that when Neil found the seagull and I was like, oh, well, great. Now I haven't even managed to complete the children's trail. So now I'm the thickest woman in the world. By the way, if you do go to the Titanic Museum, you can skip the first little section. Like the info about like Belfast becoming like a big city with a lot of industry and like is crazy. I think its population increased by like, I think it doubled or tripled between like 1851 and like 1881. It was something like 30 years and their population tripled, like absolute fucking chaos. And there was so many jobs going at the White Star Line, which built the Titanic and all the sister ships. But and it is interesting, but there's a whole section about picking out the fabrics, which I think personally, you could give it a miss.
Yeah.
The design element is very interesting. like how they design the first class, second class, and third class cabins.
Oh, I loved that bit.
That's very... Cause
Really
I want to see the
interesting.
design drawings so much. Like, I
Yeah.
like them a lot. I like that a lot, okay?
I also thought the like projection that they did, you know, that bit where it's like
Wait, when you stand inside when it goes through
Yeah,
the layers of the
yeah,
ship,
yeah, yeah.
that made me feel like I was going to throw up.
I don't know what I felt at that point. I was very tired, but I thought
yeah.
it was amazing and I learnt a lot. It's very beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And also, like, I always think it's so fun. It's not funny. It's just normal. But I think it's very funny that, like, people back in the day would decorate like it was back in the day. Like, but not, like, in their day. So, like, the Titanic was built, like, 1910, let's say.
Yeah.
But they decided to decorate the first class lounge like Jacobean 1700s.
I
And I think that's just so funny because I think you always assume people are decorating modern for what they think modern is.
yeah.
And they were like, no, we want the Jacobean style.
It was
like,
their
"You mental
vintage."
people.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, people in the Tudor times being like, we want to go cave, actually.
Yeah.
We want to go full cave painting. That's just, I was born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
This isn't for me. And clearly the designer at the Titanic was like, I love Shakespeare. I love Lizzie the First. And that's what I want to do. That's what I'm fucking doing. I missed the War of the Roses there. I said it. I'm having a War of the Roses themed kitchen and living room and diner. And the fact that the Titanic was decorated for the 17th century, I think, is just lol. Because I know we do that now. We want those Edwardian style things, or like, you know.
Hey, if I move, I'm gonna go full cave painting.
You're obviously going full cave
Full
painting.
cave painting.
That's your whole vibe.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what Holly looks like, she looks like a cave painting now. She dresses like a cave painting. That's her thing. I mean, I've obviously gone famously very Victorian because I put polystyrene ceiling roses over a hole in my ceiling.
Gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Gorgeous.
Don't say I don't know how to fucking decorate. Yeah, it's Helen Bauer, interrupting Helen Bauer to tell you more about my tour. Because thank you so much to everyone who's been so far. But we're not done yet. This week I'm at the Soho Theatre, but when you're listening to this, the shows have all sold out for the rest of the weekend. You people. And then on the 6th of November, we're in Nottingham. 8th of November, we're in Zurich. 12th of November, Leicester. 13th of November, Coventry. 15th of November, Aldershot. 19th of November, York. Then the next night, we're in Edinburgh. 23rd of November, Newcastle. 24th of November, Glasgow. And then I guess on the 11th of February, I'm coming to Oslo. Thank you so much, and I'd love to see you there. Goodbye and send your friends. Hey, little thing. Next week is Halloween, and we want to talk ghost stories. And yeah, we're going to make ourselves nervous, and we're going to make you nervous listening to it. But if you happen to have one, or like a creepy coincidence or a moment, we would love you to tell us as soon as possible, because you're listening to this on Thursday and we're recording the ghost episode on Monday. So any creepy story, please email us at helenslogpodcast@gmail.com. It'll be in the description below, and tell us about your close encounters or the time you thought it was a ghost, or like famous stories from your town, because we need to hear them. We have to. We must. God bless.
Helen's Log.
Anyway, the Titanic Museum. I loved it. I did the children's trail. I lied and said I saw all of them. The woman wasn't very interested because I answered all the questions correctly. Like, how many cars were on the Titanic? And like, did dogs die on the Titanic? Like, I answered everything correctly. I did find out the answers, and they've got like the violin and that room with all the names. And obviously I love the Titanic Museum.
I love the violin. The violin made me feel something. I don't know why the violin just fit, because you just remember that bit from the film.
Yeah.
When he's just playing.
And not just the film, I think also the 1,500 people that died. I think we'll also just do a shout out to them really quickly.
It was real.
Well, not according to the woman that checked me in at the hotel. It was real, but not when they said it was. Oh my God!
That is crazy.
Such a funny one.
I kind of want to get her on the pod just to find out.
I
about
know where
this.
she works.
Great.
I know where she works.
Right, let's find her.
Oh, it's such a fun museum. Yeah, if you're in Belfast or you go visit it, it is amazing, because it is also very beautiful the way it's done. That room has the violin in it with everyone's names.
Yeah. It's
and
also
with the ship.
incredibly moving. Like,
so-
all of it. I felt really like it was not a good start to a Hindu. I will say that. We all came out like, oh my God.
But it is as well, yeah. I suppose I can make anything romantic, but like, there's also like last letters that people wrote, and obviously they wouldn't have known they were going to die. But even not knowing, like, they're all just so full of like, I love you, I can't wait to see you in America, or like, I'll miss you so much. Like, it's all like,
I know. I hate that now. Like, I bet my dying words will be me like sending a gift that isn't even that funny. Or like some
your
kind of
dying
sticker.
word is going to be you sending a GIF.
Yeah.
Oh, Holly.
Or like or something like that. Not that I'd know. Obviously, I'd choose
If you are
better.
dying and I know you're dying, I will take your phone off you.
Thank
and that's
you.
a guarantee.
Thank you.
Oh no, because then I'll take it off you and I'll be like, wait, have you seen this TikTok? And then I'll show you a video and then you'll die watching the Taylor Swift dance to the Bay of a video.
Hey, there are worse ways to die.
Actually, there are a lot worse ways to die.
As the Titanic Museum taught us.
That's the Titanic Museum taught us. There was like some stories of like individuals who like obviously survived, but they would talk about like things they saw just before they managed to get on a ship, and like couples who like the woman couldn't fathom leaving the man, so she just was like, oh, I'm just going to go in the stateroom with him and just lie down. And it's like, oh man.
But they showed that in the film as well.
That's what I thought. I was like, there has to be a reference to that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the guy that found the Titanic. I can't remember his name now.
Oh God, yeah.
The oceanographer, because I did not realise like
because it was a
how
failed
much of an
mission
ordeal
at
it
first,
was,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and he had to
failed
beg
the
for
first
money.
time and then beg and then like try and eventually
because it was such a huge expanse of ocean that he had to search to be like, it's somewhere around here, right? And they were just like guessing, and then you could see where they managed to look on the first day they had this equipment, and they were just like 4 meters short of like the edge of the ship.
Oh, God,
but then they had to beg to have like one more day with it, and they were just searching as much as they could. But the same with every like thing. It's like everything is so close. Like the Titanic does that. Like when you think about the fact that the ship that was closest, the Carpathia.
Oh my God!
Like the guy went to bed. The guy who takes the messages was in a bed.
Imagine he also went off shift early. He clocked off his shift early. Can you imagine waking up the next day being like that thing where you're like, no one will know. Checking, obviously you can't check your phone now, but imagine if theoretically if you did, having like 5,000 telegrams, like help this, and then realising the Titanic had happened because you went to bed early.
Because you went to bed early. Because they were so close. They could have got there with all their life.
Yeah, so many people wouldn't have died if that boat had gone there.
Shame on you, the Carpathia.
Shame on you.
I mean,
but
I'm sure
also,
you lived
I
with that
felt
guilt
like
for the rest of your life, and I'm sure you're dead now. That'd be crazy if you were working on the ship in 1912 and you're still going.
I actually couldn't handle even reading that bit because it made me imagine what I would do if I woke up in that situation. And I was just like, I would just implode. I would simply die. Like,
it's awful. Because when you see the map of where all the other ships were in the Atlantic, then it's like,
I know.
You were close.
I stared at that map for so long, and not just because it was like only 10 a.m. and I'd not had that much sleep, but.
And the room where you walk through and there's all the messages from the person on the Titanic doing the SOS signals to different people, being like, this is not, I'm not joking, like, come right now. And they're like, okay, like, how's, like, what's happening? It's like, we are literally sinking, right? Like, there's no information I can give you that will, like, that you should be on your way already.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
horrific.
can just see, like, it starts professional and then you just see the panic. There's one that just says, shut up! And then it has the message.
Oh,
like,
God.
they just can't mess around anymore. And it's like, this is awful. Yeah, you know what? We've just discovered the Titanic, awful.
Awful.
Awful. Tell you what else is awful. The Crimean War. Is that the worst segue ever?
That is, I thought it was very cool and very slick.
I mean, I've got so much more to tell you. Can I just quickly say thank you so much to David O'Doherty for taking me on a tour of Dublin. I very much enjoyed seeing everything I saw. Shout out to the Bogman. Shout out to the Lidl with the old Viking hut underneath it. And what else did I really enjoy? Shout out to everyone that came to the shows. And obviously, lovely Cork. And I had the best time ever. And shout out to my family for not going to the London Dungeon and instead going to a museum where there were humans in jars. And yeah, Yeah, okay, I missed that part of the museum and went for breakfast with my friend instead. However, I didn't realise we were doing 2 museums because I was like, I'll come to the British Museum. We went to the British Museum and I went to that. And shout out to my sister for pointing to every horrific torture thing that anyone ever did in any picture or any tapestry and saying, that's Helen, ha 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 ha, that Helen. And the sweet people looking over at us being like, what the fuck? And then going, looking at me like, oh, you poor thing. And I'm like, yeah, poor Helen in many ways. And then turning a corner and realising that Greek people would kill lions sometimes, and her going, oh no, that's not okay, that's awful. It's also awful to threaten your sister. But anyway, shout out to the Bowers. And now let's learn about Crimea with Pierre Novellie. Thank you so much. Woo! You guys, you logger logs, you sweet angels, you have left us so many lovely, sweet reviews on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. You're subscribing, you're giving us, it means so much, and we love to read them, and it makes such a difference to this podcast being able to keep going, just like getting into people's faces. So if you haven't yet, please do comment on the episodes on Spotify, comment on YouTube, subscribe, like the episode. Please give us ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. It means so much and makes such a difference. Thank you so, so much. Bye.
Helen's Log.
Pierre, welcome to Helen's Log.
Thank
and
you.
welcome to being our first ever history expert.
No. This is an anxiety dream.
No, it's not an anxiety dream. I love you so much because when I text you, I think I texted you when we were doing the podcast being like, I need, like, who the hell can come on this podcast and discuss this? And it's like, there's only one option. And then when I ran into you last week and you went, I've been researching. And I was like, I love him so much.
I have so many questions about how and why this has happened. Why the Crimean War? What happened? What are you talking about?
I heard a podcast about Florence Nightingale about maybe a month ago now. And like, obviously she loved Crimea, wherever that may be. Turkey, for goodness sake, I reckon.
We'll park that for a second.
Okay, so I was listening to that. Okay. And in the podcast, they kept saying, Crimean War, Crimean. And I was like, yeah, nodding along while I was sleeping, listening to it. And I just don't know anything about it, for heaven's sake. And then neither did Holly, neither did Ollie, neither did Zofia. And then it turns out neither did any of our listeners. Love you people, but we're not the brightest here at the log.
But that was like the one gap, like...
Yeah, but I know what the concept of nursing is.
No, but that's something else. That's learning about Florence Nightingale, right?
Yeah.
Whereas so for you guys, the Crimean War is like the one kid in the primary school photo who none of your friends in the WhatsApp group can remember. It's like, no, none of us. We've all asked everyone we know, and no one can vouch for this fucking...
One kid on the tea towel that you get given.
Yeah, and you go, well, apparently he had 80 fingers. That's one... We should remember this boy.
That's awful, but that's so true.
His nose was his ear on the side of his fucking round head or whatever.
I've got to that age as well, where if you look at I've got my full year photo from GCSE year, so year 11, secondary school. And I'm like, I don't know some of the, I couldn't tell you their name. I can't picture their faces. No. I'm like, that's crazy.
You're not supposed to remember. That's why social media is bad. You're supposed to go, it's supposed to be like in an 80s film where they're like, Jerry Susan, I haven't seen you.
Jerry Susan is the best name you could come up with.
Yeah, Jerry Susan.
You're a comedian, man.
That's a funny name, though. Jerry Susan is funny. You're supposed to have that moment on the street in New York as opposed to going, yeah, I have seen the face of your fucking child and I haven't spoken in 30 years.
And then you have to pretend that you haven't. What have you been up to? And it's like, I know you've moved to Basingstoke. I know you've moved to Basingstoke. Yeah. And I know you were looking for a flatmate a couple of months ago. I should have known that.
Yeah.
I should have known that. And also I looked at the listing.
Yeah.
I looked at the listing.
Nice.
I know exactly the situation you're in.
I've seen your living room.
Many times.
From a high angle.
Because I went to check back and see if it'd gone. Because sometimes I fantasize about living different lives. And one of them is, going to the big city of Basingstoke from Fleet and living it up. And I would work in Festival Place. And I would bring back the shakeaway. So I have a couple of things I want to point out before we start a Crimean War special.
Okay.
I have checked with Pierre. It is not like a Holocaust situation.
No.
Just in case. Because it's a comedy show. We don't want to go into that. Also, you have to treat us like morons when it comes to this.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And also, I also want to point out, when you treat me like a moron, I will be annoyed if you say something I already know, even though I asked you to treat me that way.
Right, so it's a kind of minefield thing.
You are fucked either way.
Yeah, okay.
And I will sometimes freak out and just accuse you of mansplaining, even though I asked for it. And I'm not proud of who I am.
Literally invited to this building.
Yeah. And then I accuse you of something. Yeah. Okay. I get easily triggered, apparently. And before we start the subject that I know nothing about, which obviously I hate, we have to start by saying, I know other wars and battles.
Yes, okay.
And I want to tell you some of the ones I know.
Okay.
So you respect me.
But also this is good. So it gives me an idea of...
My level.
Yeah, your hinterland.
World War One.
Okay, that's good.
World War Two.
That's good. Those are the biggies.
Including a focus on the Battle of Stalingrad.
Cool, yes.
It's a very cool one. That was a big whoopsie daisies and very awful for all the soldiers.
Yes.
Terrible stuff.
Yes.
I also know about the ones that I learnt about recently, which is the Battle of Hastings. And what was the one that happened a month before that up in Yorkshire?
Stamford Bridge.
Stamford Bridge. I also learned a lot about that recently, but then I forgot the name of it. But I know about it.
Sure.
Okay. Wars of the Roses. I have a good idea about that.
Okay.
And then also, let's pick one more. I've watched a lot of films where the American Civil War is happening in the background, and I think it's important to tell you that.
There's a lot of those. I think that's one of the easier ones to figure out through films.
It was brother versus brother, and it's in Little Women.
Yes, that's right, but sort of constantly off screen.
Well, yeah, but you do see Marmee handing out some stuff for soldiers, which is very nice of her, and that was a good thing to do.
Yeah, as a kid, I always found it weird to watch a film which is so clearly kind of set in a war, but the war's like over a hill, and then in front of you, someone's going, "Where's that pie I baked?" I understand as an adult now that it's about the domestic atmosphere of da-da-da. But as a kid, I was like, "Where is the war? Show me the explosions."
The zone of interest must have killed you.
As a child.
Childhood you watching the new Jonathan Glazer film, like, what? But there's so much more happening than just Hedwig picking flowers. So that's everything I know. Obviously, Zofia, nothing about Crimea. Right, Zofia? You thick as shit when it comes to Crimea?
Thick as shit when it comes to Crimea.
Zofia, thick as shit when it comes to Crimea. Audience, thick as shit when it comes to Crimea.
Okay.
Holly, no idea. I don't think Holly can spell Crimea, God bless her.
No.
You know, but what a lovely face and what a cracking pair of tits. It doesn't matter. And Ollie, thick as shit when come to Crimea. Ollie, thick as shit when come to Crimea.
Okay.
So where are we time-wise in the world, I guess is the way to start.
Time-wise, it's
like how far back are we talking?
1850s.
Not same as the Titanic when Belfast population was booming. This is a very interesting episode for people interested in 1850s. Please continue.
What do you know about the Ottoman Empire?
I want to say a lot, but I have to be honest, nothing. All I know is that the border was consistently changing, and it is the most changing border out of any country in the world.
How do you know that? Where's that come from?
I listen to a lot of history podcasts, and I go to a lot of museums, so like little things go in, but I wouldn't necessarily know everything.
That's a good fact, though.
Dankeschön.
Yeah.
I know Russia invaded them. Ottoman, is that right?
Yeah, Ottomans, yeah. Well, they would fight a lot.
Yes. But that's all I know.
They were bad.
I also love that you said something you knew and then your phone also fell out of you. You were trying to say a fact and then you dropped something.
It's not a good... It doesn't back you up, I think, to just have
your...
To say a fact and then have your possessions tumble out of your pockets. It's not ideal.
I thought I would be like, I'm part of this conversation. Oh no! And I shouldn't have pointed it out because I love you so much.
But it was
quite frankly, you made a cunt of yourself, sweetheart. Do you want to pick it up, baby girl?
No, I'm just going to
okay,
it can stay there.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't exist. I'm just going to stay silent and learn.
Ollie's crying. I'm sorry. So, Ottoman Empire, just like who were they? And why was he called Otto Man? No, that's the full name of Otto in The Simpsons. His surname is Man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a fascinating fact when
Really?
I'm interested in, but I'm really interested. Yeah, his surname is Man. Otto Man.
Those Harvard-educated freaks. Simpsons writers. Is the sort of Turkish Empire, you could call it, right? So
Okay.
based around it replaced the Eastern Roman Empire. So like Turkey, but also they kind of, in a complicated way, controlled the entire Middle East, North Africa, all of the Balkans, Greece,
Wow. Where are the
Armenia.
Balkans?
The Balkans are the bit above Greece, where it's like
Like
Serbia,
Bosnia, Serbia,
Yeah.
Herzegovina,
Romania.
the classics.
They had all of that. That was all them.
Dracula?
Dracula.
Turkey got Dracula?
Dracula was famous for fighting the Turks. That's who he was impaling, Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, shit!
So the Turks would invade again and again and again and take more and more and more of that land going west. And he was famous for scaring the shit out of them by being so freaky and horrible. And then Dracula kind of loosely based on Vlad the
I
Impaler.
love that. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Very cool.
That is very cool.
But he didn't do enough impaling because eventually it was Ottomans ran anyway. So
Wow.
the Ottoman Empire, that's the Turks in World War One. That's still the Ottoman Empire.
Okay.
So Gallipoli is Australia and us versus the Ottoman Empire.
Okay, so I don't know about World War One then.
Well, but it's confusing because people always go on about the Turkey in World War One because it confuses people to say Ottomans.
Yeah. I'm confused now.
Yeah,
So the Ottomans are Turkish.
yeah. Well, it's like the British Empire was British, but like not
Yeah.
everywhere they controlled was British, right?
So
it's
the
the same
Greeks
thing. It's just
became
a
Ottomans.
big, massive empire. Yeah,
Okay, slay, good for them.
and none of the people that they were in charge of were happy about it either.
Oh,
But there was a
no.
big, stable empire,
Okay.
and by the 1850s, it's kind of falling apart.
Why?
Because they're running it like a weird medieval empire, and there's trains and stuff now, and it just doesn't work anymore. And they've got loads of things like really traditional institutions. Like imagine if the police were still instead of the police, we still had fucking beef eaters and stuff. You should be like, this is not appropriate for the modern age. They
Yeah,
had
why
an
is the
equivalent-
crow in charge of what I'm doing in my life? Yeah.
Why are we using ravens to?
Yeah.
So they had all kinds of weird things like janissaries and various
It's a
like
janissary.
a janissary. Have they gotten rid of them? I don't remember
I
if
can
they
tell
got
you
rid of
for a
them.
fact that no listener of this is
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
correct me.
So
With love to all the logs. I don't think we're that community.
they'd gotten rid of them by then, but so if the Ottoman Empire is like kind of falling apart, like it can't run its own shit.
Okay.
And all of its provinces that it runs, like the Middle East and Egypt and North Africa and Greece and the Balkans, are all rebelling and getting independence.
And is everyone who's in charge of each area going back to Turkey to the head of the Ottomans and being like, look, it's becoming a bloody nightmare in Santorini.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
it's not working out great. And they're like, go back, just tell them we're going to get some more crows on the case. And they're like, I'm telling you now, they're not happy.
It's not going to work, the crows this time.
Yeah. Okay, so they're just going back, telling, and then coming back and being like,
Yeah.
oh, we're still in charge technically, so we'll kill one of you every month just to make a point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Or in the case of the guy in charge of Egypt, he literally goes to war against them himself. And it's like, I'm going to be on my own now, actually. And then they fought for a while, like 2 different wars, I think. And eventually they were like, okay, you have to tell everyone that you're still in the Ottoman Empire, but you can do whatever you want.
I love that being a conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever you
Really
want, but don't
unsatisfying.
tell my boss.
Yeah, you have to tell my boss that you're still I still line manage you. But you can do whatever you want. Just stop exploding things, please. Basically, so
amazing.
they're kind of fucking it up, right?
Okay.
But this is good news in some ways for Britain and France because it gives them lots of influence in the Mediterranean, and also the Ottoman Empire is huge and has loads of money and connects straight to India and Eastern trade and stuff.
Is that
So-
the Silk Road?
Yeah, basically. So, and it's also just like a big market in itself. And the,
Okay, yeah, no.
Like, it's-
the market is in like
Yeah.
economically. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
meant
yeah.
like a big market. I was like,
A
they
big-
do have a lot
a
of
big
markets in
souk.
Turkey. They do have a lot of markets in Turkey.
I can never remember which country is a souk and which is
Morocco.
a bazaar and which is
Morocco's a
Morocco's a
souk.
souk. Yeah.
Morocco's a souk.
Yeah.
There's a bazaar and there's another word. There's a bunch of market words. Anyway,
Harper's Bazaar?
sure.
Remember that shop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a toy shop in Basingstoke. Do you ever go?
No, what?
No, okay, never mind. Carry on with your facts.
Yeah. So, but because they can barely run their own shit.
Yeah.
In terms of international affairs, they just get kind of fully taken advantage of. But what you want is you want both to be true, right? If you're Britain or France, because you go, okay, we don't want it to fall apart, because then that's chaos. We don't like that.
Okay.
And if it falls apart, then Russia's going to come and eat loads of it, and then Russia will be in charge of loads of stuff.
So we've got, can I just quickly just explain it out loud so it's clear in my head?
Yeah.
We've got 3 teams at this point.
Yeah.
The Ottoman Empire's falling apart, but you've got the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
You've got the Russians, who
Yeah.
are obviously wanting to seize control of that area.
Yes.
Completely. And then you've got Britain and France. We'll just call them the Allies.
Sure.
Just for ease right
Yeah.
now, maybe. And they are like not wanting it to completely fall apart because they don't want to have to deal with this massive war thing.
Yeah.
But they also wouldn't mind if there was a lovely route through the Mediterranean that they could use just for like market, for trading, and just for general sort of like. So realistically, sadly for Britain, probably so they can go and take over other countries easier.
Yeah, well, also it's a massive place to just sell stuff, because back then we were the equivalent of China now. We made everything. We made all the cutlery and all the nuts and bolts and the wheels. And
In the north.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So the whole world, if you had like a nice, like, affordable set of knives and spoons and forks and whatever, they were from Sheffield, even if you were in South America or Africa or China or Japan or... Well, no, not Japan.
Really?
Yeah, we were China first in terms of manufacturing. So we managed to bully the Ottoman Empire into being like...
Oh, for heaven's sake, is that what the Industrial Revolution is?
Pretty much.
I thought it was just a train.
No, it was everything. It was everything.
Brilliant. Good for us.
Yeah. So we want the Ottoman Empire to be just strong enough to keep a shape,
Yeah.
but weak enough that we can go, we're allowed to sell anything to anyone where you live, actually. And they have to go, yes, thank you. And just let us do whatever we want.
Understood.
And also leave us alone in the Mediterranean. We're a big navy power. We want to be able to sail around wherever we want. So that's also good for us.
So we've got our 3 teams.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens next?
So everyone can see that the Ottoman Empire's got loads of land and money and trade opportunities and can be bullied.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone has a big go at bullying it. So the Russians decide to say, we're in charge of all the Orthodox Christians, which is the same thing that they say about trying to invade bits of Serbia or Ukraine now. They're going back to that now.
You can't. How do they do that? They say like we're the head of the Orthodox Church, so
Well,
we're in charge of all the Orthodox
The
Christians.
Orthodox Church equivalent of Rome is
Must
in
be.
Russia, yeah. So they can, it's like if Italy said it, we're in charge of all the Catholics or the Roman Empire.
Jesus.
That's the argument they're going for.
Yeah.
So they're saying to the Ottoman Empire, you run the Holy Land, but also you run Greece and the Balkans, where there are loads of Orthodox Christians, because the Greeks are Orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a special series of rights and things, and we should be able to protect them and kind of administer them remotely,
Wow.
even though
Okay.
they're in your empire.
Yeah.
And the Ottomans go, "Oh, what? Oh, okay." They're like a kind of overwhelmed pensioner at this point, just going, "Yeah, so you're the gas man. Come in." They've got they can't run anything, really.
Wow.
They're very weak. Then France, or maybe France did this first. Basically, France then decides to go, actually, we want to be powerful again, because we've
What
been
do
shit for
they
a few
want
years,
now?
to be in charge of all the Christians under the Catholic thing. Neither of them really mean this. They're just doing it to try and get control within the Ottoman Empire and to be in charge of trade and things. It's not that sincere.
Okay, chaos.
It's vaguely sincere, but not like enough to bother what they're doing.
Yeah.
Then Russia, as a way of saying fuck you, moves into Bessarabia and Wallachia, I think, which is like Romania.
Okay. So Russia moves in. So
put
they're like,
troops
we want
in.
the Orthodox.
We're taking charge of this
fine,
bit.
whatever, we're tired. And then they're like, okay, well, we're obviously going to take it a step further.
Well, then they switch. Then they start switching between that and France, because France sends a big gunship to freak them out, and then they go, actually, France is in charge, and Russia goes, no, you promised us, actually, move some troops in.
Holy crap.
At this point, Russia's pretty sure that what's going to happen is they'll have a big fight, they'll get a big treaty that gives them lots of delicious concessions, and then they'll retreat.
Now, what's a treaty exactly? That's a deal that's made at the end of a war to be like, this is what the agreement is at the end.
Or to avoid a war
Or
sometimes.
to avoid a war,
So
yeah.
they're hoping that they can go boo, and then on the Ottoman Empire will go, okay, you can have a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
But Britain and France are thinking, Russia's too strong, so we don't really want to let them get away with fucking around like this. We want to use this as a chance to just get in there and fuck them up in the Black Sea once and for all. Wow. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we hate Russia now, do we?
Well, what's weird, the press were really behind it. Or like, a lot of people blame the newspapers for making the public really obsessed with fighting Russia and hating Russia.
Really?
Yeah, because they did a bunch of dishonorable sort of massacres and things early on, and so it got printed, and everyone thought the Russians were sort of horrible, and Russia still had serfdom at this point, which is like every Russian peasant was a slave. It wasn't a nice place. No one liked it.
That is bad.
It is bad.
That is
Thank you
bad.
for joining in there,
Massacre's not good. Yeah, I've literally
Don't
been
drop anything now.
staring dead-eyed like this, like trying
So-
to take it
But
in.
we
You
want
know-
Russia to like us because.
No, not yet.
Queen
Not yet.
Victoria is sending over her kids to marry the Tsars. and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
but that's just insurance. That's in general.
Okay, that's
you know,
just to
that's
keep it
fine.
safe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know jingoism? The
Never
phrase
heard
jing-
that word.
Never, but I love that
Really?
word. Yeah.
like jingoistic when someone is like patriotic in like a kind of slightly dumb way, like kind of
Like
saber
people putting
rattling.
up the flags on the roundabouts right now in Britain.
It's more like foreign focused, like we're so much better than France, jingoism, like
Oh yeah. Okay, I know
sort of
that one.
imperial, you know. It comes from the Crimean War. There was like a song people would sing in pubs about how we should stop Russia from taking Istanbul and things. That's how obsessed they were. Yeah. It's like very
God.
popular.
That's such a good word. I'm going to use it much more.
Yeah.
Jingoistic. This is the first time where I've been like, I'd
Jingoism.
love it if
Jingoism.
we could get that into the name of the episode. Now we've got to think
Gee,
of two
okay.
other J's.
Great. Start talking about jam.
It comes from the it comes from the phrase "by jingo," which you might have seen in like Asterix or like
I
old-fashioned.
think I've
comic
heard
books and
by
stuff.
Jingo.
I've heard by Jingo,
Yeah,
but
so
I don't
that's
know why.
that's like a silly old-fashioned like swear thing. You're getting like a Sherlock Holmes dramatization, like "by jingo," like "by Jove." It's like that.
So that's from the Crimean War. Can I ask another question
Yeah.
about sayings in Crimean War? What about criminy? Is that from the Crimean
Am I
War?
misspelling?
Is it close though?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm just trying to join in, Pierre.
And that's good.
Just trying to have a laugh. So the English are now like villainizing Russia in the newspapers. People are getting like funny. Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So the Britain has a navy but no army. France has an army but no navy. So they can combine. They go, actually, you know what? We might be able to make this work. So they team up with the Ottomans, and they say, well, no, we have all these other treaties from the previous few decades of bullying the Ottomans that we promised to be nice to them. So
Okay.
we're going to come in and fuck you up. Actually, you can't do this kind of thing.
So
And then-
suddenly Russia's going to join with the Ottoman Empire to get rid of Britain and
No,
France.
no.
Wait, what have I lost there?
So Britain and France, they're bullying the Ottoman Empire, but they don't want it to lose. They need it to still be there.
yeah.
You can't rob a pensioner if they're dead. You need to keep them alive so you can go
What
and
sort of a metaphor
intimidate.
was that, sir?
Yeah,
That's
well,
actually
that's what
that's
it is.
going to be the title of the episode.
Can't rob a pensioner if they're dead. Never forget that. That's an old phrase. So, like, you see what I mean, though, right? You don't want to kill the golden goose,
Okay, I've had that as a phrase.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
but it's the same thing.
It's really not.
It is. Just imagine instead of a big golden goose, an old lady.
Dead pensioner.
No, a living pensioner. That's the point.
It's such a different image than a golden goose.
But the golden goose is being murdered in that metaphor. It's still you don't
Is
want to kill
he?
it. You don't want to kill the golden goose.
I
That's
thought
what
you were
they're
just sort
saying.
of like closing the door on the golden goose so it could lay eggs before Veruca Salt came.
No, is that the goose?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, no, isn't it like
Which one did
It's
got-
a squirrel, I think, in the book, but in the original film, it's a golden goose. Because she sings a song like "I want a feast, I want a bean feast," and I remember
Yes.
that because I remember thinking, "What sort of child wants
bean
a bean
feast."
feast?" That's a mental
It's a
choice.
really, really disgusting phrase.
It's
bean
crazy,
feast.
and she sings a song about wanting a bean feast.
It's
I'm
really
sorry.
gross.
I know like things that children want change over the years. Like she wouldn't have wanted an iPhone. But ice cream, maybe? A bean feast? No wonder she doesn't fit in with the other kids. Sorry. Wait, can you help me where
Where
we
were
were?
we? Yes. So
So Britain and France want to keep it going.
you want to bully the Ottoman Empire, but you don't want it to collapse because then fuck knows what can happen.
And the Russians are starting to make it collapse.
Well, they've invaded a big chunk of it in what's now Romania and Ukraine.
Ukraine.
So Russia pulls its troops back and thinks, well, that'll be the end of it. But then it's too late now. Britain and France have gone, actually, this is a good opportunity to give these guys a big smack. And so they counterattack and invade Crimea, which is the kind of this sort of triangle-shaped peninsula coming up
I'm
down
sorry.
off
I started daydreaming.
Ukraine. That's right. Because I said triangle.
I'm still
Just
thinking about the
before that.
golden goose
Yeah.
and the pensioner.
I know, me too. I got
Yeah.
the golden goose thing in my head as well.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Can't we all just get along?
Wait. Who's invading?
So Russia takes a big chunk of Turkey.
Yeah.
Or like the Ottoman Empire.
They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're there. That's naughty.
That's naughty.
They get attacked to be pushed out of there
Yeah.
by the Ottomans and the British and French.
Yeah.
But then they also attack them in Crimea.
Who attacks who in Crimea?
The British and French invade Crimea.
Okay.
Which is controlled by the Russians.
at this point. Yeah.
That's where all their ports are.
And where is it?
It's the triangle bit coming off Ukraine. It's Ukraine.
I want to see it on a map.
It's where Russia invaded in 2014. It's where
and I should be able to picture it, and I cannot.
You played GeoGuessr.
I know.
That's what she's getting up now.
Yeah.
Not an actual map.
Yeah, Sevastopol. I know
There you
that
go.
name. Yeah, I see it. It's a place, and I knew that Crimea was a place. When it said Crimean War, I knew it was a place,
So,
by the way.
Like loads of what the Russians do throughout history is about having a warm water port. And that doesn't mean like hot, like a nice sunny place. It just means somewhere that doesn't freeze in winter. Because if the Russians don't have that place, Sevastopol, then every port they have is like in the northern bit, and it gets frozen and it's fuck all use for 6 months of the year.
Oh my god.
So that's why they're obsessed about the Baltic and that bit going into near Sweden and Finland.
Yeah.
That's why they're obsessed about Ukraine, and that's why they're obsessed about that base they had in Syria that they just lost. Because they had a big old base in
I
Syria.
don't know about the Syrian base. at all.
You know Bashar al-Assad?
No.
Well, not personally, but
No.
you've heard of the dictator of Syria. Okay, Assad.
Yeah,
No.
I've had Assad, but not
Assad.
the full name.
Bashar al-Assad.
I'm sorry, I've never heard that full
Okay,
name before.
Assad.
Oh my god, I feel so thick now.
I have honestly,
I'm
I'm learning so much.
I'm so glad we're doing the edit.
So, Assad gave the Russians a big military base in Syria in the Mediterranean, which they loved because it means that they have a lovely place where it's not full of fucking ice all the time. And they can use that port to refuel and resupply and, wangle
Why
up.
would they not go for like Saint-Tropez or something? I've heard that's very
They
nice.
would if they could buy it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it costs a lot, I imagine.
Have like nuclear submarines there, then they would. Or Kaliningrad,
Bless you.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Anyway, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That's later.
Matter, Ollie, it doesn't matter.
That's 20th
Stop
century.
asking questions.
So that's why they went into Crimea, because it's where the Russian Navy.
They wanted Sevastopol.
Yes, and Kerch and a couple of other places, I think.
Of course, Kerch. You want Kerch.
And the Dnieper River, I think they
Who
did some
doesn't
fighting.
want the
Yeah.
Dnieper River?
Basically, they don't want the Russians to have a navy in the Mediterranean. They want them to have to fuck off and live in the Arctic.
That's fair.
Because they want the Mediterranean for themselves.
Okay.
Which is, in this case, let the Ottomans control it, but really, they do what we want. Or at
This is
least
a very confusing war.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's not a good for like cinema.
No.
No, I was
No,
going
I
to
wouldn't
say,
imagine.
there's no...
It's too much is about trade and treaties, and like you have to explain what the Sublime Porte is and Janissaries, and the Ottoman Empire is very hard to understand.
But it is very interesting as well, because it's a lot of people pushing a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like testing literally like testing waters, but like seeing like we want this, and everyone's got like a slight agenda, but they don't want to show their agenda, so it's very pokerish. Like, I'm not showing you all of my cards.
It's very pokerish.
And it's like, if we could just all get together and talk about what we want, and then I think we should just at the end of it go, hey, how about none of us matter, because it's the Greeks and that's theirs, and this is the Ukrainians and that's theirs, and then we should all just go home. Not like that. That sounded very, you know what I mean? But like, we should go back to where we came from, is what I'm saying.
It's definitely like in European
Made
history.
in Sheffield.
Yeah.
It's definitely where like it's all like very complex diplomacy and alliances switching all the time, and
Yeah.
trying to keep all the big thing was trying to keep the concert of Europe, like keep all the powers in balance.
Jesus Christ.
So whenever anyone got too big, the other powers would go, uh-oh, and they'd try and smack them down again.
like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, which is what was happening with Russia. They go, well, if it gets too big, it could be like, it could get a big enough empire that it starts connecting to India and stuff and gets even further. And we want them to stay
And
right
we
where they
wanted
are.
the tea.
Well, we just don't want them to have anything.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand everything you're saying, and we're on
Yeah.
the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the tea.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and spices.
Yeah, oh my God. I love them.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
so they're in Sevastopol, and then the British and French and the Ottomans go, come on now.
They're besieging
That's too
it.
far. I don't know what besieging means, Pierre.
Besieging?
I know siege.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
when they're sieging.
Before a
They're
siege.
sieging Sevastopol.
They sieged Sevastopol.
Yeah.
So everyone starts fighting in Sevastopol.
Yeah, and they're basically spending the next 2 years doing these very long World War I style sieges. It's one of the first wars where it's like lots of trenches and telegram wires and
That's called a
steam
land
trains.
war.
Yeah,
Well done, Helen.
it is a land war.
Yeah,
but they're
I'm
also
saying
shelling the
that.
fort from the sea.
Oh dear.
I know. And the Russian Navy got stuck in. It got sunk in the port, so it's not even tooling around. So the British and French are just sailing around doing whatever they want.
And they all went down whilst inside of the submarine and the ship. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. It's a horrible way to go.
I would never get in a submarine.
No,
Just
no,
add
don't.
something.
No.
I don't want
Never.
to talk about it. It'd be horrendous.
Would you be sponsored by a submarine?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
No,
A
I
lot
think
of
it's just
podcasts.
Why, you got one to sponsor us? Or?
Maybe.
I don't want to get in one, but I also think that just must be so confusing for whales and fish and things. I'd be so confused.
Probably for whales. Fish, I don't think.
No, they'd be scared.
not.
I'd be scared.
They probably would think it was like a big whale, though, or something
Yeah.
like that. What do you think they think it is?
Alien.
An alien.
Alien.
So they are aware of the concept of Earth and aliens.
Of course they
Yeah.
are.
Okay,
Of
all
course they are. Now,
Yes, so now this is the Crimean War. We're in there.
We're in
It's
the war.
happening. Takes
So-
2 years.
so this is why the British are there, because this is why I never quite knew.
That's
and
why we're
Florence
there.
Nightingale goes over on a boat with other nurses
Yes.
to Turkey.
To
So
Crimea.
who's fighting in... I thought she was in Turkey.
Maybe her hospital was in Turkey, and is it
People
Mary
got transported.
Seacole was in
Mary
Crimea?
Seacole was the other one, yeah.
But I think she was in Crimea.
Maybe.
I'm
I
not
haven't
sure.
listened to a podcast
Maybe
on
hers
Mary
was in
Seacole.
Yeah. Yes.
Shit.
Because there was no professional... That's one of the things that came out of it, is professionalizing medicine in hospitals to not just be at random.
Yeah, that's why like she's such a famous person. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was, like,
Yeah.
it was also just about like how... Because the main problem was at the hospital that Florence Nightingale was running in Crimea or Turkey, whatever, was there was a dead horse in the sewer system below it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everyone was just constantly getting sick, but they were like, it's not about they thought it was all smell. That smell carried disease.
Yeah.
Miasma,
And-
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like, yeah, it's not.
But it's not.
That's a clip. I'd write that one down. So this is the Crimean War.
Yeah.
And it goes on for years.
2 years.
That's awful.
Yeah.
What about the locals?
They're involved. They're
things.
involved, yeah.
Because they're the only, like, it's always the locals. It's like they didn't go to do this. They were just there.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, isn't it, being a local during war?
Almost certainly.
I would
Yeah.
say so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful for them.
Yes. The other thing Florence Nightingale did was stop and go back to the UK.
She did,
talk-
yeah.
But that was a big deal, right? Because she could have stayed out there doing all this shit for free forever.
She was also quite a sickly woman. Like, she died quite young.
Yeah.
She wasn't well either.
Did she die young?
Yeah. She didn't make it to her 40s, I don't think.
No.
I'm going to Google that.
Wait, is that not true? Because if you say no, then I won't believe myself.
No, I believe you. I think you're
No,
right.
I might not be right.
I thought she ended up being like a kind of frightening...
Oh, no, she was 90 years old.
There you go. You forgot to times by 3.
That young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
So confident as well.
Yeah.
She was 30 years old. Okay, she stopped working.
So-
she stopped working in her 30s. I think her nursing career was only like
But it was
3 years long.
But it was partially a
Check
decision...
that.
I'm not
Partially
even
a
gonna
decision
Google it.
to shame the army.
What?
Well, so like you have a choice if you do something charitable for something like an institution like the army for free, right? Because
Yeah.
as long as you do it, they're going to go, well, we're going to learn nothing and no one's going to learn how to replace you for as long as you're here doing it for free.
True.
So you have to quit and go back to London and shame them in Parliament or in the press so that they go, well, fuck, now that you've gone, we've got to hire someone to do it now and pay them money and start a whole medical corps and, invent this whole thing called the medicine and hospitals
And the Red
stuff.
Cross.
Yeah. So that all
Sure.
had to, come out of...
Crimea.
But also it's quite hard to make a decision to stop providing something like care.
That's necessary.
Yeah.
We talk about this in the extras this week.
Mm.
Well,
Oh, yeah?
we talk about picking a chair. Picking
Yes.
the uncomfy or the comfortable chair. There's like in Goodbye to Berlin. Just join the extras. It's very interesting. It genuinely is. That's just the worst part of the Patreon of all time.
We talk about the chair.
We talk about picking a comfortable or uncomfortable chair if you walk in the room at the same time as someone.
Oh, I see.
Like, would you sacrifice and then resent, or do you just take? And are comfortable with taking. Do you know what I do?
Yes, I go by size of chair. I don't mind if it's uncomfortable as long as I can actually. I can never sit on a bar stool. It's not possible.
I hate
I
bar
don't-
stools anyway.
They're
Just give
horrible.
me a back. Come on, we're in our 30s.
And the amount of people who are like, and if my friends listen to this, I include you in this, who are like, oh, it's great 'cause in the kitchen we've got room for a little island and a couple of stools. I will stand.
Yeah.
I will not sit on your stool.
Yeah.
Like, regardless. As far as I'm concerned, burn them all.
Yeah.
Standing is so much more comfy
Then sitting on this
than
like
sitting
insane.
on that.
I feel absolutely mortified every time you go into a pub and you know when they have like high stools
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like, and I have to like clamber on. I feel like I'm getting onto a high chair and
Yeah.
someone's gonna like spoon feed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't lean any direction
No.
Yeah,
because
and
you're done for.
you're way too high above the surface.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you should know this, who's listening. Pierre's 8'4".
Yeah.
That's hard for him.
Yeah. I might standing. I'm actually shorter.
Yeah. Weirdly. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah. than on
I'm
the
so
stool.
sorry. The Crimean War is happening and we're bantering.
It's not that. It's just like a sieges, and then eventually we win the sieges, and Russia surrenders, and that's
Yeah.
it.
So we win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Ukraine got to be Ukraine.
No, not then.
Mm.
What happened?
Oh, for fuck's sake! What do we do now?
It's just about concessions. You just.
Oh, what do we do now?
What do you
It's
mean?
the British. We always do something really bad.
No, it's just the whole thing was always about concessions. You were never going to disassemble the Russian Empire. It's not going to happen. Basically, you say, well, we've beat you and you're kind of having a lot of internal problems, like you're going bankrupt because of
Can I
this.
ask a question?
Yeah.
Sorry. At the end of the war, when you figure out who's won,
Yeah.
if the British win, do you just get one Northern soldier stand up and go, right, off you fuck?
In the film, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, we've won. Can I
short-
say it?
an
Is it my
aging-
turn to off you fuck?
If James Cameron's listening, he should put that in.
An aging Sean Bean. Dressed in his old sharp uniform. Would be good. By which point he would be like 110.
Oh my god, I could have guessed you were a sharp boy.
Of course, yeah.
Of course you were a sharp boy.
course.
What about
And I-
Horn? Was it Hornblower? What was his name?
No, I didn't. Kieran Hodgson is your hornblower.
Is he?
He's the he's the Navy, I'm the Army. Yeah.
My brother was sharp and Hornblower.
Yeah, I found out about Hornblower too late, I think, and also so much of it was about navigating. I was like, "Where are the explosions?" They're like, "Oh, when they find the ship, then the explosions." I was like, "This is too long to wait. I want them immediately."
I'm now thinking again about how you got diagnosed as autism as an adult.
Yeah.
How was it missed?
But as I said to you before, were we recording when we talked about exams or no?
I have no
I
idea.
actually have no
Sophia
idea.
just pressed
We weren't.
record at
We
some
weren't.
point and I never know.
Well, you don't get diagnosed if you have the I remember things flavored autism, because it's like your entire childhood and education is a series of memory challenges. So if you're good at it, people go, "Great,
Yeah.
thank God someone's good at remembering things in these big exams that we do all the time."
I think it's just consistently got missed in the 90s with people because it was almost sort of thing of like you had to be like a selective mutism,
Yes.
almost for like people to even like notice, yeah.
Or like savant or something, like something extreme. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whereas if you just remember things,
They're like,
they
oh, he's
go,
great at schooling, like he'll go
"Good."
fast scholastically.
yeah, they go, "Oh, you really understand this?" You go, "Well, I might understand it, but what I do is remember it."
Do you know
And
what
he's
they
like, "Not
say?
the same."
He'll be great on a podcast one day.
Yeah, someday
Yes.
he will have to research the Crimean War for reasons that are unclear. Reasons that are unclear to
Because
him.
some moron girl
I'm
in
still
Fleet
quite
that you're
unclear
yet to
about
meet.
it.
I
Yeah.
don't know how this has happened.
No, you're unclear now.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, you're not. Wait, so at the end of it,
Yeah.
we just do treaties,
Yes.
deals,
Yes.
and the Ottoman Empire. Just so we know, what are we looking like at the end of it?
They are still kind of just being weak and taken advantage of.
Okay.
They functionally have given up chunks of what is Romania and Ukraine. Nominally, they're like, again, it's the thing of like, they're still one of ours, but they're not.
Yeah.
And Russia has, at least temporarily, I think, no right to have a fleet in the Black Sea at all,
Wow.
which is a big deal,
Yeah.
and has to open up a bunch of rivers for trade and things, I think.
Yeah, they have to build
It's
a
just
canal.
trade. It's just trade.
It'd just be a nightmare, wouldn't it, back in the day if you lost power on a river and you weren't allowed to use a river? You'd be like, well, great, now I have to build my own canal.
Yeah, or just walk.
Pierre, I feel like I learn a lot. And I'll say this, a lot more complicated than I think any of us really expected.
Yeah, well, I think that's why I think that's why, myself included, people end up going, wait, what order did this happen in? Because it's not a clear narrative.
It's not a case of like...
There's so much context.
There's so much context.
It's not like a fun, like... But then it's got so many cultural references, like the Charge of the Light Brigade, that poem, that's Crimean War. The word balaclava, that's from...
isn't it? It's called the Battle of Balaclava.
Yeah, but it's a place.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why were they all wearing balaclavas
Because of
there?
how cold it was. And they got nicknamed balaclava.
Yeah.
Wait, how cold was it? Oh, we're freezing, and they
Freezing.
were fighting in
Absolutely
the cold
freezing.
weather.
That's why they're
freezing.
fighting for it.
In the snow and ice.
Oh, nightmare.
Cardigans. Lord Cardigan wore a cardigan
Stop
because it
it.
was so cold. Yeah, that's...
Lord Cardigan
Stop
sounds
it.
like an insult at school.
Alright,
where
Lord-
you'd like
Yeah.
call the one
Alright, Lord
kid that
Cardigan.
came into a cardigan is known as Lord Cardigan
Lord
for
Cardigan.
forever.
Yeah, it really does.
I wish that's how clever nicknames were at school.
Oh, wait.
Because Cardigan's a place in Wales.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he was the lord of there and was wearing this knitted woolen pullover thing.
Oh, is that
In
what it
Crimea.
is?
Like this.
Yeah, like that, I
Right.
think. Probably.
You're like the Lord Cardigan.
That's what I'm going to call myself from
I
now
want to
on.
listen to The Charge of the Light Brigade now, that poem.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to check it out.
And then also Florence Nightingale and like so many references.
Yeah.
I think maybe just because it was the first one that was so covered so heavily by papers and everyone read the papers. I don't know.
Maybe it's
Not
that.
sure why.
Or like, but it also is like...
Tolstoy wrote about it as well. So like all these Russian writers
Did
were writing
he?
things about it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So
yeah,
it's really like well covered. Karl Marx wrote about it a lot in his newspapers. So like it's very, very... Maybe that's why it's so much in people's heads.
I think it's in people's heads, but I don't think anyone actually... I mean, speaking on behalf of us and like the people that wrote in saying, no, we don't know
Oh, no, I
anything
just mean the
about it.
references. Yeah, no.
But I don't think it is known. Like,
I
it's
think
just
it's-
not one
but
that's
people know
taught.
No films
No.
about it.
It's not understood, but people know the name. They go, of course, the Crimean War, and then that's the end of the
Yeah,
sentence.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a war in there right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pierre.
This has
for
been a
coming in
very
and
strange
teaching us
morning.
about
Yeah.
I loved
Thank you.
it. I loved it. And then you have to plug things, of course.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got such a good podcast.
I've
You do.
got a podcast called Bud Pod I do with Glenn Moore.
Yes, you do.
And then me and Glenn Moore do a podcast with Sarah Keyworth called Button Boys, which is about video games.
And you do live shows for Button Boys.
Not yet. We
Did
will.
you not do one at Pleasant?
That was
Like a
a
one-off.
pilot for a TV show based around video games that we happened to be guests on. But it was about the video game, so it's confusing.
That's very cool.
We do live shows for Bud Pod, though.
Very
that is
cool.
true.
Very cool.
And I am on tour in spring, and I have a book about autism.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You have a very good book about autism,
Thank
and
you.
your tour is very cool, and it starts in January.
Soho Theatre in January.
I
and
saw
then
this
the
like
whole
earlier
country
today.
after that.
Because you literally just
Exciting.
announced it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is perfect. So there should be tickets available for every
Yeah.
date because this is coming out in like 3 days' time.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
can put that in the credits.
Yes,
We'll put it in
please.
the credits, but please, like, do book in advance of Pierre because this isn't
Yeah,
one
it
of those
will
things
sell
where
out.
it was like
None of it's
like-
about the Crimean
like,
War, so don't worry
I
about
wouldn't.
that.
Oh no, but they want it to be about the Crimean
They
War because
want
then
it
they
to
can be like,
be.
we understand. We understand. No, Pierre, you'll know because I've spoken about him on Trusty Hogs and on this as well. He's one of my king war boys in my brackets of comedians and
Yeah.
different styles of comedian. And the war boys, as we know. It's not so much about what they talk about, but it's the fact that everyone in their audience listens to history podcasts and has at least one Hitler biography. Thank you so much, Pierre Novellie.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our loggers who support this podcast. I am now going to do a perfect reading of every single one of your names, and I'm going to say each of your names once and perfectly. Are you sitting? You better be, because I'm about to knock your socks off. Nothing to do with sitting. You know what? If you're not wearing socks, go get some, put them on, and then listen. Here it comes. Alex McPugh, Amy Sheppered, Amy Fitzgerald, Anthony Conway, Asa, Katrina Windsor, Charley, Charlie T, Charlotte Weemes, Claire Owen-Jones, Claire Scott, Chris S, Daisy Longshaw, Dean Michael, Dom WD, I think that's Tim and Dom. Hey Tim and Dom. Dougie Robertson, Dylan Moorhead, Ellen Watson, Emma, Fayt Grady, Helen A, Jack Blomfield, James Goulding, Jen Aitken, Jessica Allan, Jessica Birch, Jocelyn Hughes, Josie Perkins, Karen Gibson, Kate Thompson, Catherine, Kelly C, Chloe, Leah Overend, Lisa G, Lucy, Luke Bright. Okay, I've done that thing where I've got too excited that I'm doing so well. So I'm just going to calm myself down and then carry on. Luke Bright, Meg Hamilton, Melissa, Natalie Ford, Neil Redmond, Nikki Stefanoff, Noelle Bucher, Olivia, Peter New, Rachel Smith, Rebecca Locke, Rochelle Harker, Sadie Cashmore, Sally Galula, Sammy Duke, Sarah Bell, Sarah Deacon, Serena Painting, Simon Moores, Subi Lynch, Sophie Chivers, Stephanie Catraccia, Stephen Chicken, Tamsin Smith Harding, Tina Lindsay, Trina McSay, Helen Ann Bauer. I'm so proud of me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And thank you guys. Thank you guys, for making my dreams come true.